Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Report has it yet again that Ebony has been caught trying to, influence, the aide, the aide of one of those chiefs. Remember when Queen Naomi was supposed to do that full moon ritual with the Oni of Ife, the last full moon ritual, the saga that happened that weekend where two chiefs were supposed to carry out the Ofarende ritual, but they did not show up. They didn't show up because they wanted the full moon ritual to fail, because they knew that, look, should that full moon ritual fail, that might just be the end of everything, because every full moon ritual is not something you do every time. There are stipulated times you can do certain sacrifices when it comes to full moon ritual. And they say if that final full moon ritual had failed, it would have taken Kabiyesi and Queen Naomi another 4 years to, perform a full moon ritual before any other time. So Kabiyesi went ahead. They were able to perform the full moon ritual with the help of Iyanifa just being there, and they were able to perform it, even though those chiefs did not show up to do the sealing ritual for the full moon, which is said to be coming up sometime around this year again. Okay, so right now, Oni of Ife has hired traditional investigators to find out what actually transpired. But that is not just what it is. There are a lot of things where Kabiyesi is trying to get hardcore evidence to present to the Odua traditional court to give him reason why the Oloris have got to go, right? As into the immunity has got to leave the Oloris, right? And so part of what this investigation is about is, what happened on that night. It all began with the private investigators after the confusion and near sabotage of the final full moon ritual, a ritual that was meant to complete the restoration of Queen Naomi to her rightful spiritual and royal place beside the Oni of Ife. The king, in his growing determination, had quietly sent out these private investigators. These were not ordinary detectives. They are men schooled in the subtle craft of Yoruba traditional investigation. They know how to slip into compounds unnoticed, how to lean close to the ground and hear the truth vibrating in the dust. They are, also backed by the authority of the Oni himself. Everyone, knows that ignoring their question or lying to them could provoke their spiritual consequences. It was this investigation that apparently triggered desperate move by those who feared exposure. And so the story now tearing through the palace goes like this. One of the king's trusted aide, a quiet man known for his strict loyalty to Kabiyesi, brought forth a startling allegation. He claimed he had personally seen a certain man in Ile-Ife standing right beside the compound belonging to, the Ebony in a place that is called Aide. This man was not an ordinary visitor. He was a known associate of the chief who still remained alive after the scandal of the full moon ritual. The chief in question were not originally from Ile-Ife. They were brought in from other Yoruba cities to serve as spiritual, facilitators during the ritual. One of Oni of Ife's men, had already, these two babas that came, one of them already died, right? The ones that were supposed to come that did not come had already died mysteriously, not long after the, ritual, event. Many whispered that the gods themselves might have called him to account after all that he did, right? Now, the other chief, however, still lived, and he was known to rely heavily on this particular aide. It was this aide who frequently came to the palace to deliver sacred items, messages, and sometimes small but critical packages to Kabiyesi. He was close enough to be trusted with certain delicate errands, yet far enough from the inner palace to still be considered an outsider. According to the king's aide, that is Kabiyesi's aide this time, seeing this man in Ebony's compound at such a delicate time was shocking. He did not just pass by or stop to greet. He was, seen going inside, sitting down comfortably, treated as a special guest. When word was quietly gathered by those who, keep their ears close to the ground, the troubling suspicion emerged that this was not an innocent social visit. It looks very much like Ebony's family had invited the chief aide, not for friendship, not for shared laughter over kola nut and palm wine, but for something, darker. The story gathered even more disturbing color when it was whispered that this meeting was directly connected to the ongoing investigation. Everyone, knows the private investigators have been combing the lineage, speaking to servant, approaching herbalists who supplied the chief, tracking every step that led to the failed ritual. Ebony's family, already anxious that they could be implicated, supposedly decided to secure silence at any cost. And so, as the rumor now holds, they called this chief aide to their compound, intending to arrange with him, to persuade him, or was to, bribe him, not to speak openly to the investigators, not to reveal critical details that could tie Ebony or her family to any wrongdoing. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Delaram. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the south. It's still on the royals. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you so much. I love you. I share my people. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. And do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate each and every one so much. No one knows exactly what was discussed behind the closed gate of Ebony's family compound that afternoon, but the mere sighting of that man there at such a sensitive moment, combined with the already heavy atmosphere of suspicion, has turned this allegation into a storm. The king's aide, who first brought the matter forward, did not keep it hidden. Out of duty and perhaps fear of being accused later of covering up, he reported everything to Kabiesi's senior counsel. From there, what leaked forth through, gathered whisper in the palace halls, then spinning like hot oil into, the palace. Now, the entire Ife is abuzed. The markets are full of gossip, elderly women. In fact, everybody's talking about this. Everybody knows that something is up in the palace and it's no good at all. Like, why was that man there? What is the man doing? Because Oloris have become really, really desperate right now, trying to cover their shit up, because these investigators that have been hired now, whatever findings they make, they are under oath. They will now take it straight to the Odua Traditional Council, and once it is stamped in the Odua Traditional Council, they will improve the removal of their immunity, and that will be all. And that is a big deal. That is why you see all of this going on. They said it's not a small thing that is going on in the palace right now, and I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.